DC KO issue 2. The writer is Scott Snyder, who's worked on Batman, Justice League, and Nocterra. The artist is Javi Fernandez, who's worked on King Spawn, Nightwing, and Batman and Robin. Then we also have an interlude written by Joshua Williamson of Flash, Superman, and G.I. Joe, and drawn by Zermenico of Green Lantern, Injustice, and Justice League. And then we have the colorist Alejandro Sanchez and the letterer Hassan Itzman Alao. Katie.
Yeah.
We get into the first contest, because they kind of lied to us with the bracket. Not in the sense of like the fact that half of those.
Oh, you're getting this out of the way right up top.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying that they lied to us about the bracket in the sense that it's one big. And I was trying to set the scene for people if they haven't read it yet. It's one big contest between all 32 of them.
Yeah.
To find
as
powerful
opposed to
items.
The broken down battles. Yeah.
Yeah. To find,
which I actually really liked as a plot device in this series, because I think that a lot of the characters that we see in the bracket are ridiculous, right? Like, you see Harley Quinn in the bracket and you're like, okay, how is she supposed to compete against like members of the Justice League? But I like that they had it be this, like, there are these powerful weapons from our universe, and you're trying to find them and end the round with them.
They still did screw it up a little bit, because like they do have Harley Quinn take out a Justice Leaguer in order to get one of the weapons, which is, maybe we should just have her get there first.
Yeah. But I do think that it sets the stage for the actual battles really well.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed the kind of core of this issue as well, which was this like dynamic between Lex Luthor and Superman. I absolutely lost my shit in the best possible way when Lex pulled out his sword. I'm not going to say more about the sword. But when Lex used his sword, I was like, that is the coolest shit I've seen in my fucking life. And like a tried and true nerd culture moment, right? I enjoyed it.
I'm just gonna hold it up.
That's fair. It's in the front. Lex Luthor cuts off Superman's hand. And it's so cool. And I love the idea of Superman going through this with one hand, because that's really fucking rad. But yeah, then so they had a great dynamic in the core there.
Absolutely. And I also just like the idea of Superman being so like focused on stopping the villains, and specifically stopping Lex from winning, that he's not focused on like trying to win himself.
Right.
And like that's a really good angle for it, because again, he's Superman. Honestly, the smart plan would just be try to win yourself, because you're the hero's best shot at going all the way. So don't fuck around and potentially lose trying to stop these guys early. You can deal with them later.
But like it makes sense that he would be this way. Yeah. Because he is Clark Kent.
And he's stubborn. And it establishes how stubborn he is.
Oh yeah. Our good boy. I fucking love Clark.
Also though, like I just want to throw out in the interlude, I love the just like super quick and casual flirting between Batman and Diana. Just thrown in there.
Just talking about how they're each flexing, and I'm like, okay, oh my god, get a room.
Just like so quickly moved on from him too. Like,
here's the thing, I'm so here for it. I like.
Oh, I love that.
I feel
thought
like
it was so funny.
I feel like in the comic book space, I'm not like a big shipper. Like even as someone who loves Dick Grayson, I'm like, I don't care if he's with Babs or Corey or Sean. I'm happy with all of them. Like as long as they're doing cute little things, I'm thriving. But for some reason, Wonder Bat just like hits me in the good button.
Me too.
Like,
and I feel like it's just because Catwoman Batman's been pushed so hard, and I am just so fully of the mind that Wonder Woman Batman is such a better like idea for Batman as a character.
I also love the idea of Batman being with someone who is just objectively better than him.
But also, I feel like that's the only thing he ever actually could do without like losing his mind, because I feel like if he's with somebody who's actually in like constant danger, he can't physically handle that. Like he is going to be too obsessed with them getting hurt or a villain using them against. You have an immortal warrior, and he doesn't have to worry then, and he can actually be kind of chill.
And honestly, he can be the one in danger.
But anyway, we've
can't
so
imagine how
sidetracked over like
stressful
a
it would
two-line
be. Yes, yes.
thing in this issue. But
you know
I
what?
like.
I feel like DC doesn't give very much Wonder Woman Batman content these days.
No,
So
there was the like I think the little thing in the lead up to the wedding where he had like they went to that alternate universe together.
mhm.
But yeah, they don't do it.
So we don't get much, so it is exciting to see when it does happen.
Maybe we're about to get in the Absolute Universe, though. Who knows? We got that.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I think they'll at least do it for the crossover, even if it's not like the permanent direction.
Yeah, anyway. I'm here for it. But like you said, we're off track. So yes. I really like the core of the story that has Lex and Superman having their dynamic. And I really enjoyed the periphery bits as well, like all of the little competitions. I think that it really benefited from being super fucking fast. Like we have stuff happening and stuff resolving really quickly in a way that I think made this book feel chaotic in a way that it's supposed to feel. Like it feels like you're on this battlefield where like so much shit is happening.
I think
that was great. I really liked it. The only downside for me, I actually didn't love most of the flashback sequences. I feel like maybe they were like, because it's interesting because we just also talked about Absolute Batman, which similar to this and both written by Scott Snyder have a main, timeline happening, but then a flashback kind of parallel story. So like the flashback is informing the current story. And I loved it so much in Absolute Batman and was kind of annoyed by it here for the most part.
Well, I think here it's done by a different creative team, which I think is like
that's
an
fair.
Important note. Because like when you do something that's so small and is like intercut by a different creative team, there's always a chance it's not going to quite mesh correctly,
And like it just felt really cheesy in a way that or like really kind of explainy. Like I don't need you to explain to me why Superman doesn't want to be president of the United States. Like I don't know. I feel like that kind of sucked me out of it a little bit at times. But the other elements of it I liked quite a bit. And I am very excited to see these like big full issue long fights that we have coming to us in December.
Yeah. Same. But so let me get to my big criticism first, because it doesn't actually have to do with like the content of the book. But I was about to hold up the bracket, but that actually is a ton of spoilers.
It does.
It's the bracket. Because like yes, you could be the bracket didn't matter. That was cool. No, but the bracket did matter. Because one of the people in those matchups did move forward each way. Which I don't like. Because that means that you essentially like kind of spoiled some of it. Whereas if we just went in with like 16 of these 32 are coming out, in my head a lot more characters would have had a shot, for things, versus like this character's up against, Superman. I know that they're screwed, I know. So like I would have liked that so much more. I think they should have started the bracket now. They should have waited to have their 16 and then started the bracket in the back of this book. Like, I don't... The reason is because they wanted to do, like, their fantasy thing at the very start of the series and have people fill out a bracket.
Right.
But it doesn't work when the first thing isn't a bracket.
Yeah. Like, it's not like there were actual fights between them or, like, they weren't competing for the same thing. Most of them were completely unrelated. A lot of them didn't even get page space.
No. A lot of them don't interact. Like, I was looking through
the bracket, and I'm like, I guess minor spoiler. I'm like, I didn't see Batwoman the entire issue.
No. It was, and honestly, like, the other, like, slight gripe was, like, again, and it would have been, if they didn't, it was pretty much who you'd pick on 99% of them. I think there's, because we walked through and we did the first round matchups when we were debating it. I think I got, I'm looking here. I'm looking because it's a definite one.
While you look, I'll also say I feel like
I think I
it
got
also
two
set
wrong.
up this. I think it also set up this idea of like anything can happen because it's like, oh, in this game where uh this is all going to be erased at the end, it creates this sense of like, oh, maybe in this version of events King Shark will beat Aquaman or something. I don't remember what. Honestly, I don't remember which of them actually moves forward. So it's not a spoiler because I don't remember. Or if they're even paired up against each other on the bracket.
They are. They
Uh,
are.
okay, that was the only one that I could like semi remember off the top of my head. So like, I think that there's this sense of, oh, anything could happen, and then it's like, okay, anything can happen, but it didn't happen in the way that we were expecting.
No, and also like you didn't really do any big, because like even the ones where I like the couple I got wrong were kind of the more. There's only one
More
that there's only
toss-uppy
one
ones.
result here that I call a genuine surprise, and it's a surprise I'm very
Mhm.
happy about because the character moving on is one of my favorite characters that I'm very very excited pulled off the upset because they also were one of the most entertaining characters in this issue. I think you know who I'm talking about. Our
I
boy.
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm super happy about that, but I just feel like a lot of it was I feel like the bracket definitely pulled a little bit out on that, whatever. But that's not that's
Mhm.
not an indictment of the issue because that's more of an editorial like thing.
Yeah. But it
yeah, I
is
thought
like,
the issue,
that DC was pushing the bracket pretty hard as well. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, go to
I mean, you got a bracket
DCKO.com or
cover,
whatever.
didn't you? Like there's a cover for the bracket, isn't there? Isn't that what you have?
I don't even know if it's actually the bracket cover. This actually
There's
might
a
have.
versus.
Okay, yeah, there is a versus, but I don't think it's set up with the bracket.
Oh my god, no! It's set up with
I could
spoilers.
be
It's
wrong.
set up literally with the bracket for
It
next
is
round.
actually. You're so right. Oh my god,
I can't believe
that's
they did
hilarious.
that. Why would that not be an issue 3 cover? Why would you? why? Why
I
is that
didn't
just
even.
a cover
I
of
didn't
the
even
matchups?
look at the results. I was just like, "Oh, pretty Danmora art."
It was funny because I just my eyes went right to the middle, and that was just one of the matchups that I knew because they're getting or like because it was one of the books advertised in the back for the matchups, and I was like, wait a minute, is that just all this round?
I'll be so
What the
real.
fuck?
I looked at it and I was like, "Is it spoilers?" And then I fully thought that the person facing off against Superman was Metamorpho, and I was like, "Oh, it's not."
But yeah, anyway,
But it's not
I do think this was a fun issue, and like you said, I think
Yeah.
them doing these very like quick things were great. And I'll actually echo because I didn't even really think about it or notice until you said it, but then I was looking through the bracket and I'm like, yeah, some of these characters don't show up in the book, and that I feel like is a little bit of a problem because why would you do that? There's at least 3 that I see that don't show up in the book. And my guess is that there's more of that, and I just can't like remember whether or not some of these show up. But
or they showed up really inconsequentially.
Yeah, which is kind of upsetting, especially because some characters got multiple beats or multiple like items that they went after, and you could have just kind of replaced that with one of the other characters in one of those fights. Like
what I will
not
say,
spoiler whether or not he got one. Guy Gardner went after like 5 items and was in like 5 different confrontations. You could have replaced him in a couple of those,
which
with characters
I
that
did really like
that.
that. I thought that was fun.
No, he was the one, like, not to spoil, he was the one that I was pissed off that like they have Harley Quinn before she gets an item take him out. I'm like, come on.
I do
like, come on.
As a slight pushback to your upsetness about the bracket, I do like that there was a preservation of like the heroes are all on the same team. Like they are actively working together against the villains, and the villains are actively working together against the heroes. And I think that was a really fun thing to have going on. Like I think that created, especially while we still have such a big cast of characters, they got to interact in a lot more interesting ways than just people like trying to one up each other.
Well, that's
and the fact that there were like 16 items
my
or
issue is more with the fact that they made it because I think based on where the story started, like they should not have made a bracket because that's not what they were doing, and so making the bracket all it did was kind of give some spoilers as to like, oh, half of these characters or like one of these 2 characters is moving on, you know.
Yeah. and again, that is fair. I think I just didn't put as much thought into the bracket, so I'm just like, oh yeah, the bracket, whatever.
That's fair. It was, I think, unnecessary to
Mm-hmm.
have the bracket.
For
I
sure.
didn't know they did that.
They're just
But
coming
anyway,
for Exquisite Corpse's bag, man.
they are, honestly.
Yeah.
They got there a little late. You know?
Coincidence? I
Beating
think
to
not.
it. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've hit on everything in it. It's good.
Yes.
I do want to once again state that this is the best event that DC has done in years, which is not a
Mhm.
super high bar.
Oh, you know
but
what?
It is a win.
I'm gonna hit on something else.
All right.
And it's a little bit negative again, but I was
Oh.
very positive at the beginning.
You were.
I feel like perhaps this I feel so bad I'm forgetting his name. Javi Fernandez is not doing my favorite Javi Fernandez art in a lot of this. I think there are a lot of really good moments, but then there were a number of notable moments for me where I'm like, that looks a little weird. Like to a point where I was like, oh geez, why does Superman look like that right here? And it was just like a normal Superman face before anything bad happened to him. So I was like, oh, he just looks bad because he looks bad.
I do think I don't love Javi Fernandez as Superman.
Yeah, that could be part of it.
But I did like.
Yeah, there were a few pages where I'm just like,
I think he just puts too many lines on Superman's face, and it makes him look really old.
That's fair.
But part of that might also be that he was supposed to be like weakened and like kind of sick for a lot of this issue. So
no, this is at the very beginning. Like it's one of the first shots of Superman that we see, and I'm like, why does he look like that? But I think part of it could also be that so much of the book looks absolutely gorgeous, and a lot of these, I don't know if Scott Snyder just got too used to working with Nick Dragotta, but so many of these pages are like packed with panels and action.
Yeah, I think that was kind of necessary for the amount of ground they want to cover.
Oh, agreed.
That at least one of the characters
I do think
that
a lot of those
pages is in a tiny panel on the very first spread. So that's one more character who did technically appear.
But I do think that there was a little bit of some of the pages suffering because some of the pages look so good, which is a tough trade-off. Like, obviously, you can't be putting your absolutely best work on every single page. But it's rough when there's some like really notable moments of it. And I felt that a lot more with this than I did with the first issue.
No, I get that. But yeah. I think now we've hit on everything.
Yeah, I think we've fully exhausted DCKO number 2 now. So be sure to let us know if it's possible, any parts of it that we missed talking about. Let us know in the comments down below. And be sure to hit subscribe to add our show to your pull list.
And as always, see you next week. Comic Geeks.